Hey pack leaders, this is Hien with Friends of Irony, protecting families by protecting the pack. And today I'm going to show you a tutorial on how to trade with the HAAS Online Trendline Trade Bot. And I use this in conjunction with Elliott Waves, and I'll show you a little bit of that too. So let's go ahead and switch over. Alright, so I've kind of already set up something right here, but first I wanted to talk about trading it with using TradeView for now. There is some kind of feature in HAAS Online to trade, kind of draw your trend lines. But you do want to read the book regarding Elliott Waves. Basically, he's saying that there's a trend here where there's usually 5 impulsive waves. There's usually 3 good ones, and then 2 that come down, or corrective waves. So I'm going to give you some references too, but I'm going to kind of give you a little spiel on how this all works. So let me try to find these this wicked trendline stuff right here. No, this is not it. It's right here. That was on it. Oh no, it's right here. Right above. Okay, so this is it right here, the impulsive wave. So there's usually a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. So these are the waves that usually happen, and when they do happen, they usually happen in a line that kind of coincides with it. So if this was the trend right here, if we actually match it up, we need to then align it with that. And from this point on, since all we have is these 2 points, we'll align it with that. Then we'll kind of bring the lines back in. Okay, and they should be pretty parallel between these two. So I would expect 3 to be here, and then 4 to be here, and then 5 to be here. Now there's waves, and then there's sub-waves that go in between it. So with that, on a 1 wave, there's usually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in here, and then an ABC correction here. And this, we're coming out of a bigger wave right now. So let's go ahead and check that out, and I'll draw that up for you guys. And so usually there's a ABC right here. Actually, let me start from the beginning here. If you kind of put a little zoom in here, there should be like a little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, a little small one here. And it does get a little confusing after a while when you have too many things, so it might make sense to kind of draw and change the color so you know what the subwaves are and which one's a bigger wave. Let me go with maybe a purple color or something. That's a bigger wave. And then my tiny wave would be different color, maybe yellow. No, that's not good either. Let's go with that one. Yeah, let me just go with blue. Alright, cool. So there it is. And then on the correction wave, there's usually 3 waves that come down. Right here. A, B, C. And then this is also 5 going up. One, 2, 3, 4, or 4, and then 5. And then you should have another corrective wave coming down. And that's if you really want to trade these tiny little, you know, ups and downs here, but you kind of see some of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops. Like that. Okay, now let me go back to my cursor here, my cross. Alright, so based on, you know, we don't have to go subways, but it kind of shows you that there's big waves and subways. Usually this would take a few more, say, hours to get to. So you kind of expect the 4th wave to hit around like, was this 4 o'clock? And then the 5th wave by, you know, 5 o'clock or something like that, right? And another couple of rules I need to talk about is that wave 4 doesn't cross number 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's right. There you go. Can't be lower. Alright. Actually, no, wait. This is wave 1. Yeah, wave 4 cannot cross the point of wave 1. This is wave 1. And then wave 3 cannot be the shortest. So if this is this length, and that's pretty short, wave 3 has to be pretty long. Or if there's, if wave 1 and wave 3 is short, then 5 has to be the shorter one in order to make 3 the longest. Okay, so if you see a really long wave 3, and this may or may not be the trend, if wave 3 continues going way up, then we're going to have to readjust and follow that. And then the combination of the two will then say, hey, 3 was pretty long, and 1 was short, then we've already done our short 3 wave, then 5 has to be a shorter wave than 3, kind of thing. Okay, so that kind of gives you a little anticipation on what will happen. So as long as you obey these rules, you should be good for drawing your Elliott waves. Okay, but for now, this is what it is. Okay, now who knows, like, whether this here could be also a bigger subwave for wave 1 that goes all the way up, so alright, so hopefully that gives you a gist of that. And let me switch over then to the other one. So if we know the price points of where this is going to be, so we're at this stretch right now, and we kind of see some subways that we're trading on the trend lines right here, right? So it kind of helps to have these trend lines right here, so that's what we've been trading on the way up. So we kind of expect this to be around what, 0.0, and this is an ETH, so we're gonna have to adjust that accordingly. Of course, you want to be on the same one too. Okay, so once you know what that amount is in ETH, I'm actually in BTC pair right now. You want to actually then know what the price is going to be. So let's say this is the top of that, then you can say, hey, I'm expecting a correction soon, and I should correct on a C wave, and this will be this, the sub corrections that going down. And then as it corrects back up, you can then draw your next set of trend lines as it goes up too. So it just takes a little more babysitting to do on it, and I'm going to show you how to draw these trend lines. Okay, so I'm going to kind of reset everything here and remove these lines. I can actually move it right there. Okay, cool. Alright, so I think I just moved that too. Alright, so we can add the set, and you basically just click draw. You also want to draw just a little bit below so that the circle or the action is within that box, and I'll show what that means. So it looks like it's going up a little higher here. So let's go ahead and click on it, make sure you have a little cursor before you draw it up. And I'll try to, align it with the bottom too, okay? And then draw the second line, just something right here, and you kind of bring it out over there. Okay, and that's what the trend line will be. So as it goes up, you kind of expect it to correct pretty soon after that, and once it hits the bottom, it'll then pick up the buy. Now after we done our Elliott waves, we kind of see, hey, I know that based on Elliott waves, it'll say it's gonna probably come down about this much. And I haven't really showed you the Fibonacci yet to kind of determine the price points, but let me switch that over in a little bit to show you how to do that. So, but for now, let's say we expect to go here, and then we expect it to trend down, maybe about a correction of 30% or so. And then the sell line, here. Okay, but you don't have to draw these until you get there, okay? Because you can predict ahead of time just to see how well you predicted it, but as it moves up, it could be passing this and be trending down later, okay, or earlier, who knows. Alright, so it's just a good rule of thumb to do. And then you can kind of identify the set where this is where the action is going to be, and you click over here, this is where the action is going to be. So you actually want to be in this box where it's going to actually be doing stuff. Okay. Alright, so let's go back over here. Like, how do you know what price point it's going to be? You click over here. I believe the Fibonacci is right here. Alright, and since we're already here, no, that's not it. so I usually try to go a little higher. Okay, adjust this a little bit. Alright, so based on these lines, Fibonacci is kind of a thing where, you know, the whole world is kind of created within these numbers. And also, I guess stock emotions also align with this. Alright, so actually let me wind this back down a little bit and bring it over here this way. I try to match up with the previous one, and then based on the previous one I can then project the future one. So then the thing is like it's kind of like an art too. It's kind of you want to be proper scaling. So if this was the last correction that came down, and then this one then should reach up to the next line here. Okay, so I kind of go line by line. So I would expect my 3 to be aligned with this line there. And then based on that, I drop another one from this point down, but you know, aligning with this scale so they kind of match up. Okay. Alright, so what I did was I moved this from here down to this matching line. Okay, so they're kind of like aligning on the scale. And then I would say, hey, you know what, this one was probably around touching this line here. So I'll go here, and then this one, I'll draw another line on top of that to get to the next one. So let's go ahead and do the next there. And you know, this is how I would do it. But definitely I would ask, I'm no expert on it, and of course all those fib guys who are experts on this will probably be cringing on this. Here, so I'll line it to the next one, the previous one right here, on wave 3, and then bring that over there, and I would think that this will be the next one right here. And then now we're getting a little confused, so let me pull this over. Since the 4 line is right here, let me move this out back a little bit. Shrink it back. So then I can get my other 5th line in here. Slide this back in. Alright, cool. Drawing this into, realigning that. Alright, so trying to stay within the boundaries still of the trend lines that I created before, which is these right here, but also lining it onto the fib lines. And based on this, I guess it would probably be around here or so. That's my guess. Alright. More there. I'm looking at the next line here. And they're usually about, you know, if you're like 30%, 60%, you know, 30%, 60% kind of thing. That's kind of how it takes. It takes like 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, kind of thing. And that's kind of how it goes. So I would say practice on it, and then learn from this. I'm just like giving you like an insight of what to do as far as what's out there, and then as far as the details of being expert at fibs and Elliott waves. uh, you need to do some further study on it. I have some resources inside our membership site and a book on how to read that. And I was doing some fibs before, and it kind of matched up pretty good, as far as I know. And then I kind of stopped doing fibs for them when the market was just coming down. So I was like, let me just wait it out for a little bit, you know. So now that things are back in line, I'm doing fibs again. But it's pretty good. I mean, I really enjoy fibs, not fibs, Elliott waves, and it does kind of like, you know, get me where I think it's gonna go. So this is kind of like my prediction before, but it didn't quite go that way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sometimes it does go, but then you have to align it along the way and readjust the lines and go from there. And then there's sometimes where I did hit it pretty good. So, and also you also learn about triangles too, because sometimes when it does this triangle thing, it really throws me off when I think it's gonna go, but nope, it does a triangle thing, and then, you know, whatever. But as far as like, you know, once you see a clear impulsive wave, it pretty much aligns pretty good. And then here's some, I think, believe the correction here. Oh yeah, and this is the one, the triangle one I was talking about. So one ABCD, right? And I was like, cool, it's gonna break out. I think it's gonna break out this way, but no, I decided to just do more triangles and then tank on it. So it is what it is. But once you start to see these patterns, you'll see again ABC correction, and then you'll see some more ABC, you know, C corrections, or you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 small ones, or ABCs, you know, kind of thing, and it just keeps going down. But you'll start to see these waves, so you kind of know what to do once you can find it and match it, kind of thing. But lately it's just been a lot of sideways action and going down quite a bit. So and there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right there, and an ABC correction. All right. So there you guys. If you guys don't know about Elliott waves, definitely study it. I was, you know, manually trading before. When I was doing manually trading before, that's what I would do to kind of match this up. Also see patterns, no checkered flags, wedges, or what's it called, the pennant flags. Also look at those patterns form so that you kind of know what to do when they start to happen. Okay. Alright guys, thank you guys so much. Hopefully that's helped you guys kind of get insight on how to trade trend lines with this bot. And not just draw lines, but actually understand where it's heading. And so you can see that the correction is starting to happen now. And if it does hit this, we'll pick that up. I think it was it went up quite a bit and then it came back down. So we'll see if we hit this, and then we'll pick that up and then buy back up, and that kind of bounce all the way through. Okay. All right. Thank you guys. Hopefully that's helped. If you guys would like to know more about this, and just kind of comment below of any other bots that you want me to create tutorials on. I'm going to be moving a lot of my stuff onto DTube. So if I earned your upvotes there, please definitely upvote. I would definitely appreciate it. And follow me over at Steemit and DTube. Thank you guys. Have a good one, and talk to you later.